Hello.
What's up? What's up?
How are you?
Hope all is well in your neck of the woods, wherever that might be. What the hell is that? Wherever that might be.
When the cornbread comes out and you don't mean it to.
Speaking of cornbread, tell me if you think this is a good idea, because I was chastised in my own home because I thought this was a great idea. So, backstory, I literally just Thursday night purchased a waffle iron. Okay?
Right.
Like, we had one, I think you guys gave us one that somebody had given.
It was like
y'all.
a Star Wars one, yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah.
I got rid of it.
Yeah.
So I bought like a legit one. It's also a panini press. I'm never going to use it for that. Because
you'd be surprised. It's good for like pressed sandwiches, like hot ham and cheeses, that kind of stuff.
I like never do sandwiches. Like ever. And I already have a sandwich maker like that.
We love a sandwich around here.
I enjoy one from time to time. Mm-hmm. But I have a sandwich maker. I stole that from mom and dad when I moved out.
I also have a sandwich maker that I stole from my parents when I moved out.
But anyway, so purchased a waffle iron because my kids wanted waffles instead of pancakes. And so I was looking through like recipes to see like different flavors of waffles that I could make.
Yeah.
Because we're on a Fruity Pebbles waffle kick right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that stems from my trip to Vegas because TJ got Fruity Pebbles pancakes while we were there.
Yeah.
And he really liked them.
So I just don't like Fruity Pebbles.
Well, so I saw a recipe. It's like chicken and waffles.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of using like a traditional waffle,
yeah,
you make cornbread, like cornbread batter, and then press it in your waffle iron.
Right.
And like they were like, then it's not chicken and waffles. And I was like, it's literally not, like the waffle is the shape of the thing.
Yeah.
It's not what it's made of.
Right.
Because that batter could be used for waffles or pancakes.
Yeah.
So like, and does that sound disgusting?
No.
See, I thought it was a fantastic idea. I was like, can you imagine some of that sweet cornbred?
Right.
Pressed in a waffle
Maybe
iron?
with a little bit of onion in it?
No.
I like onion.
I mean, I like it, but like, you know, people in my house be picky.
I mean, I'm picky, but I've become an onion lover as of late.
TJ can...
I put it in everything.
When we go out to eat, like if we go out to the local Mexican place, he tells them, chicken fajita nachos with no vegetables.
Yeah.
He can take one bite of that food and tell you whether or not there's an onion in it somewhere, and he will find it.
That's crazy.
He can't stand onions. But anyway, so yeah, I thought it sounded really freaking good.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Like a sweet cornbread.
Right.
Over, you know, with a piece of chicken on it.
Yeah.
And a little like
I can get behind that.
I'm here for it.
Like, is it what you would traditionally think of as a chicken and waffle? No, but
see, I'm not. I can't completely get behind the waffle portion. I'm more of a chicken with the syrup type person. Like, I can do that.
Yeah,
but I don't know about putting it on a waffle. That's why I was stoked about the cornbread situation.
Yeah, I'd eat it.
Well, anyway. You want me to talk about my trip to Vegas real quick?
Sure.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
It was fun. Vegas was a trip that I never had any desire to take.
Yeah.
I don't gamble. I don't like to gamble. It gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
I had gone one time to gamble, played slot machines. I lost like $200 in 30 minutes. So
it's easy to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how like people will sit at slot machines all day long.
How much money did you just lose, bro?
Right.
Because you have no control.
Yeah.
You're just hitting a button and praying.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we go. I'm really glad that I went.
Yeah.
It was a great time. Vegas is definitely somewhere that there's something for everybody there. Mm-hmm. There's a ton to see. There's so much interesting stuff there. It's ridiculous. It is a bit overwhelming to the senses, especially at night.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a lot of lights.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of sound.
Yeah. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which it was, I don't know what it's like on a normal time, but it was like on the ass end of the SEMA show.
Yeah.
So there was extra people, but like.
That reminds me. We were watching a video. I think I messaged it
you
to
did.
you. We were watching a video and he goes, I bet TJ looked at that.
Probably did.
I bet TJ looked at
Probably
that too.
Did. So TJ got to go to the SEMA show because of work. And so like SEMA, in case you guys don't know what that is, it's like this big car thing show.
Yeah.
Where they show you like people bring like show cars and cars that they built, but you're talking like the best of the best of the best.
Right.
And then there's different products and classes that you can take and all this. So it's like literally all things car. And like celebrities come from all over to go.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy
thing. And it's
thing.
like it's like an exclusive thing too.
Yes.
Like you have to work in the automotive industry.
Yes, and you have to prove that you work in the automotive industry to get in there. Like my in-laws own like a body shop. Mm-hmm. My mother-in-law, they go, pretty much every year.
Yeah.
Because they like to take the classes and stuff too, so that she can learn, they can learn certain things that are going to help them in their industry. But like, she had to prove that she was married to my father-in-law,
right,
to be able to go.
That's
crazy.
Like
it's nuts. But like, I didn't go to SEMA. I got to see some of the stuff that was there, like as far as just like cars, like that were out driving around and stuff,
right.
And then of course, TJ was sending pictures all week long because Easton is a huge car fanatic, and so I got to see all the cool stuff that Easton would think was cool.
Yeah,
there was a Tesla dually, like a Cybertruck dually.
Yeah,
it was crazy looking.
That sounds crazy looking.
It was. I'll show you later.
I know TJ sent me a picture of a BMW, and I sent it to Daniel, and he goes, "I don't need to see that."
Yeah. So here's the funny part of that. So Daniel was super jealous that TJ got to go, and he didn't get to.
Right.
So like
his homie-in-law.
Yeah. So like TJ said, he was telling me about that, and he said that there was like a little model car or whatever of that BMW, and he's like, I almost bought it for Danny, but he was kind of rude, so I decided not to get it for him.
Oh my god, he would have loved that.
I know. It was like, he really wasn't being rude. He's just he's hurt. He's so hurt.
His feelings are hurt. He's jealous.
But no, it was a great time. I got there Friday. It was a long 4-hour flight by myself. I got a window seat, so I got to see all these like cool mountains and stuff. Yeah. Like when I say mountains, I don't mean like what we have. Mm-hmm. These mountains were crazy.
Yeah.
And then like you're in the middle of a desert, and I look, and there's like one mountain in the middle of nowhere with snow on it. Oh. In the middle of the desert.
See,
it was crazy.
Isn't just the earth just insane?
It's wild, but like you're like, it's like you'll see mountains, and then your desert, and then you see like a little community, and then literally nothing for miles. Just mountains and desert and nothing. There is no civilization. Like, it is not populated like we are populated. Yeah. And then you get like over this little mountain range, and it's like down in this little valley is it's Vegas, and there's like houses on top of houses on top of houses. Yeah. Like, if anybody's seen Sister Wives, when they moved to Vegas, their houses, like, they look close together, but based off of what I saw on Sister Wives, they were not close together. Like, these houses, you could like lean out the window on the side of your house and touch the house next to you. It's stupid. But like, there's little squares of just house on top of house on top of house, and then randomly there's like the college in Vegas. Yeah. It was nuts, but like there was so much to do. Like, I got there, got off the plane. I was very disappointed in the airport because I really thought Vegas would have like a bomb ass airport. Yeah, but it wasn't. It reminded me of a DMV. It was kind of depressing.
See, I have nothing to compare that to.
It was weird, but like, I get off the plane, I Uber over to our hotel.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Link. It was giving, like, every hotel's got its own little theme. This was giving like gay dance bar vibes. It was pretty awesome. Like, I say that just in the way, like, the house music and stuff that was playing and the lights and stuff like that.
Right.
It was cool. I ate In-N-Out Burger. I told you about that.
Yeah, you said it was.
I was so stoked about it because I was like, I've always heard great things about In-N-Out Burger. It was literally just a burger.
See,
I mean, it's better than a McDonald's burger,
right?
But,
like, I'm still gonna try it one day.
I mean, yeah,
but maybe it was just that location.
Maybe, I don't know. It was very busy. It was very, very busy. But, we met his parents at their hotel right after that, and then we went over to Fremont Street. That was crazy.
Is that like the main strip?
No.
Okay.
So you have to go somewhere else for Fremont. So Fremont it's got like it's outside. Like, you're outside. You're on a street.
Yeah.
But they've got that, like, sections of the street blocked off.
Right.
And there's like a ceiling. And it's all like you can see on the pictures. There's it's like a roof where there's like pictures and stuff on a digital screen on the ceiling.
Oh.
It was nuts. And then there's all these like street performers and like people that want you to take your picture with them, like, you know, the Vegas girls and casinos and stores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It was pretty awesome.
It also seems like a sensory nightmare.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We saw, okay, so...
Oh my God, could you imagine taking a gummy and going and seeing this?
For real. So I don't know if you saw, are you on Facebook right now or did you just Google it?
I just Googled it.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw it on Facebook. Disclaimer, I have mentioned before on this podcast that I love the little people, okay? So I'm not saying anything hateful.
Yeah. This sounds like exactly like something somebody says right before they say something hateful.
I don't intend this to sound hateful. But there was a little person that was like a miniature Mr. T. And he was the cutest thing ever. TJ took a picture and posted it on Facebook. But
I need to go look. I don't know if I'm logged in on
Facebook
on here anymore.
Fremont Street was cool. Saturday we got up. We walked like 15 miles.
Yeah.
Throughout the day. We went to the Venetian, which was ridiculous. It's crazy. There's like an entire shopping mall inside of this hotel. Like, you could go to like all the expensive stores. Like, I don't know, Louis Vuitton and, you know, all those kinds of expensive stores.
Yeah.
They had like a whole little like river through the middle of it that you could ride in a gondola. Is that the right word? The little boats?
Yes.
And then like the people start steering the boats singing.
Yeah.
Like you're in Italy.
Yeah, that's like a gondola ride.
We went there. We went to the Wynn. We went to the Bellagio. We went to Mandalay Bay. They have an aquarium inside. It was amazing. Yeah. We went
That must be where all the turtle pictures are from.
We went to
a chocolate
Statue of Liberty. That Hershey store was so cool. There's a picture of me with a bottle of chocolate, like I'm down in it. I was so upset to find out.
Is that a piggy bank?
Yeah, I was upset to find out it wasn't a true bottle of chocolate. Like, it was a piggy bank. I was so upset about it.
I'd have bought that.
And then there was a massive chocolate bar. And normally when you see those oversized candy things,
yeah,
they are like
the Hershey's bar is actually
it's not
Hershey bar, right?
It was crazy. We got our Christmas. TJ and I have started doing, like, when we go on trips to a new place, we'll get a Christmas tree ornament. And we got our Christmas tree ornament from there. We got one while we were in New Orleans, too. I got Brittany... No, I didn't get Brittany shot glass from there. where else did we go? Mandalay Bay, and then next to that is
I love that the tiny Mr. T made direct eye contact with the camera from a distance because he's clearly taking a picture of him from far
right.
away.
Yeah. As he's posted up next to like on the wall next to a like a dispensary type place.
Right.
We went to the Luxor, we went to Excalibur, we went to New York, New York, we went to the MGM Grand, we went to the Flamingo. Girl, there's a cat with her head fully submerged in my backpack.
She's like, "What you got in here? You got to eat your..."
I don't think there's any food in there. I could be wrong.
She's like, "I can get in here. I bet I fit."
Lord. But it was a great time. We ate at, I think it's called Roxy's or Moxie's for breakfast, which is where TJ got the Fruity Pebbles pancakes. I got the best breakfast burrito I've ever had in my life. It was huge.
Yeah.
They had something called, like, something box. Hold on. Was it Roxy's?
Tomorrow.
It's Roxy's Diner, I think, is where we went. I'm pretty sure this is it. Maybe. There wasn't a whole lot going on when we were there. Maybe that's not it. I don't think that's it. Was it Moxie's then?
I need the Jeopardy theme song.
Right, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out what... I'm trying to figure out what this thing was, because I was, like, interested in it. But I didn't want to get it because I was afraid. Maxie's Las Vegas.
Somebody is sitting here
they're
just like
screaming. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was Maxie's. So they have what's called where is it? Benedict boxes. So it's like Eggs Benedict, but it's in like a big, I don't know if it's made of toast. I don't know.
Eggs Benedict. Isn't that what has like
literally-
hollandaise
yeah.
sauce on it?
So see that big box thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
like hollandaise sauce.
I don't know that I've ever had it. And I think I've always wanted to try it. I was just afraid to get it and I wouldn't like it. So I didn't. I got the breakfast burrito. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. We didn't eat. I mean, like the other place that we went to dinner, I don't even remember the name of it. It was good. I got some bomb ass macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, hollandaise sauce is like made out of egg yolks, lemon juice, Dijon mustard, cayenne pepper.
I think I could get down with that, but like not on eggs. I don't like things on my eggs.
Yeah, I don't either.
I can do like cheese or like a breakfast meat.
Yeah.
But that's it.
about
Maybe
it,
some gravy.
yeah.
I could do some gravy on my eggs.
I used to be a ketchup on eggs girly. I can't do that anymore. The thought of it makes me want to hurl. My mom puts barbecue sauce on her eggs.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
It's disgusting.
Ew.
She puts barbecue sauce on everything.
Weirdo. Anyway. So, I don't know, but that's about it. We went to all these different places. It was a great time. Had fun. Flew home.
Yeah.
My dad picked us up with the littles from the airport. Flight home was relatively uneventful.
Good.
Flight there was really bumpy. Flight back wasn't too bad. It went by pretty quick. I watched Supernatural the whole way home. Lady next to me was flirting with TJ at the airport before we left. And then she sat next to him and he was like, "Oh, this seat in the middle, can you help me save that for my wife?" And then I get up to him and she was like, "Can I slide in between y'all?" She goes, "This is for his wife." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." She's like, "Oh, okay." And then gets up. whatever. But
Bless
I'm glad I
it.
went. It was a great time.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
See, I didn't do anything. I just stayed home all weekend. Danny put a tune in the car, so now we get like 500 and something miles for a gas tank.
I need
A
gas in my car.
A tank of gas or fuel because it's diesel. I still can't wait. I haven't had to put gas in this vehicle yet or fuel in this vehicle yet. And I can't wait until I'm at the gas station and some man is like, ma'am,
Right.
you're putting diesel in.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
You're supposed to.
It says that on here. I know how to read, sir. I scrapbooked. That was about it. I didn't really even go anywhere last weekend. And this week has been so stinking busy at work. And like, I've been like cleaning the shop and like decluttering, getting rid of stuff. We've donated like over $2,000 worth of stuff at this point of like old discontinued inventory that's just been sitting there. And then we'll probably have a write-off of a lot too, because I've also kept track of stuff that I've had to throw away. And like this past week, I started out the week doing a declutter of all of our hats. Like, you know how many hats we have. And I was able to condense a lot. Like, I've got 2 big, like, shipping boxes full of just discontinued hats. So we'll write all of those off and make them as a donation to somewhere.
There you go.
And then usually we try to take them to like a local charity. And then I've had a lot of orders. I had a softball team stuff to do. This girl, we've been doing this team, this one particular mom brings in all this softball stuff, and this is the 3rd team her daughter's been on. And like when they started, her daughter was like not much taller than me. That girl's like almost 7 feet tall now.
Girl, she should be playing basketball.
They do like travel ball. So like they were leaving for Florida last night to go because she was like in the wintertime, all of the games are in Florida.
Yeah. That makes sense. I wish I was in Florida in the wintertime.
Yeah. I've got is it an aunt or a cousin? I think it's a cousin that she's a snowbird. Like she'll go up. She's in Wisconsin for the summer and Florida for the winter.
Goals. Maddie literally asked me yesterday if whenever all the kids move out, if I'm going to be like an empty nester and all depressed and stuff. I was like, maybe for like a couple weeks, but then like I'm traveling.
Yeah.
It's the realization will set in that I'm no longer financially responsible for you guys, and I'm going to have so much more money.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. Next week is the middle child's birthday.
Yeah.
We're having a sleepover.
Fun.
With like, we have invited 4 girls, and I have gotten a confirmation on 3. The other one hasn't read her messages. Excuse me. I bought.
Do you know who's going on tour again next year?
Is she?
No. Do you know who's going on tour again next year?
Tyler Childers.
Yeah.
I saw it last night.
Yeah.
TJ found it.
I've put in for a pre-sale
yeah,
code.
Because he was like, we could take Gemma. I was like, we could. I was like, it's a really good show.
It was a really good show. And it's going to be at Geodis Park this time. And he's doing 2 shows.
Yeah. We were talking about going on Friday night.
Yeah.
I bought a whole bunch of, I'll say that, I bought like stickers, bookmarks, and bracelets, and temporary tattoos that are all T-Swizzle themed. 2 of the girls that are coming are apparently not Swifties, but they're just going to have to deal with their Swiftie gifts.
Yeah.
I thought about
me when I had my birthday party.
Right.
I was like, ain't none of y'all Swifties.
Right.
But you're going to have to deal with your Swiftie gifts.
Whatever. I thought about having T-shirts made for all of them that were Swiftie themed, and then I realized that 2 of them are not Swifties, so I was like, I'm not going to do that because it's a waste. So they're just going to deal with their
Gemma one.
And then we're going to take her and one friend. It might be the little boy that's staying at my house right now. Because I think she was telling him about it. He's like, I'm going. We're going to go see the new Moana movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm more excited about it than Gemma. And then also, right around the time for mine and TJ's birthdays, the Mufasa movie is coming out.
Nice.
So we're going to go see that.
Yeah.
But I think that catches everybody up on my life.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, I can tell you. It goes with part of your story. Never mind.
Okay. What else? I'm trying to think. Was there anything else? I don't think
it's been so long since we recorded.
Right.
I'm sick of this every 2 weeks thing.
We'll get back on track.
I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. Our December episodes, all 4 of them are having to be written in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So brace yourself
for some chit-chatty
for
goodness.
Some half-ass work.
And if you have any ideas, send them our way.
Yeah, because we need help.
I'm sure we'll have already,
we're 2 years into this now. We're running out of ideas.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll come up with something, though.
If y'all like our chit-chatty episodes, let us know. And we can,
do more of those.
I'm thinking...
And if you don't like them...
3 chit-chatty episodes every month.
All right. Are we ready to get into it?
Yeah, I guess so. Right.
So, to this week, as you all know, is Thanksgiving week, which we were in weight loss class last week, and my mom was like, what about Thanksgiving? It's on a Thursday this year. And we all kind of looked at her, and we were like, it's always on a Thursday.
Right.
Is it? You mean in all of your 50-something years, you ain't never known that Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday?
This woman.
Tested me.
This woman.
Tested me. And then then the doctor was like, well, and she gave us that. She was like, we'll be fine for Christmas. And I looked at my mom and I went, that's on the 25th this year. She goes, I know that.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
That's also speaking of weight loss class, this way I made half the class laugh this week. You know how I don't like speaking up in front of groups of people, but we're sitting over there because we had a snack of popcorn with nutritional yeast on it because somebody said it tasted like cheese. It does not. It's fine. It's an okay flavor, but it's not cheese. But we're sitting there and our friends he's eating his and he goes, I love the kernel where it's the kernel and there's just barely any white. And I looked and I was like, those are perfect. And he was like, yeah, he was like, she doesn't eat them. He's like, but those are the perfect kernels to eat. And I was like, hell yeah, brother. And that sent the half the class that could hear us into giggles.
I could see. Oh yeah, brother. Look, I saw your friend her post on Facebook about the Christmas situation.
Yeah,
that's a really great idea.
Yeah,
I told TJ, I was like, if I didn't already have 3 kids in school, 2 of which I'm going to have to supply something for Christmas parties at least. I'd be like, yeah, hit me. I'll take a couple of those.
Yeah.
But that was a great idea. Teachers.
Yeah. This is the 3rd year she's done it since I
saw somebody else doing something similar
since she's been at that school. The first year was board games, little board games. So usually we'll go to Five Below and get like last year we both got sand art kits. Yeah. We got one that would be more geared towards a girl and then one that would be, but it really didn't matter. And then the year before we each got a little art kit, but usually we just go to Five Below because she is pretty, it's a $10 and under gift or whatever. And I usually volunteer to get us each. We'll each take a number every year.
So if we have any teacher friends listening, idea for classes middle school, elementary school, more specifically elementary school. you like what she's done is she's put how many students she has in her class.
Yeah.
And like everybody picks a number.
Mhm.
And she says, okay, well, this year the theme is this.
Yeah.
And then like people will donate gifts in that theme.
Yeah.
For,
each of the student to have something to do over Christmas break. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would include, me being me, I would include like snacks too, because you don't know if that kid's getting to eat when they're at home.
Right.
But that's just me thinking worst case scenario, because
right.
I worry about those things. But anyway, let's get into it.
But yeah, so as you all know, this is Thanksgiving week. That's what led us on this tirade. And instead of Thanksgiving related, we figured we would do Indigenous Peoples Day and give you some Native American folklore, which I don't think we've touched on it here and there as it comes up, but we've never done like a Native American specific episode.
So I looked mine up, and I kind of wanted to stay closer to things that were Comanche tribe specific, because my entire life I've been told that we are descendants of Comanche tribes. How true that is, I don't know, because I've not been able to get very far in my family tree research with that side of the family.
Yeah.
But
give me some basic information. I can hook you up.
Girl,
really.
Listen, I tried on that website, and there was literally like I got to like my grandparents and maybe my great grandparents, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because that's all the information I could get.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I quickly realized that when I was trying to look up Comanche specific things that, just like anything else, creatures are not tribe specific.
Right.
So there's a version, at least a version of the same thing in most every tribe.
Yeah.
And
they usually have like a common thread, but there's like some details changed.
So the first one that I found is called the Pukwudgie. The name means person of the wilderness. It's more commonly associated with the Wampanoag, and other northeastern tribes, but I found that some versions of this creature also appear in Comanche lore. The Pukwudgie is a small troll-like creature around 2 to 3 feet tall. They're known for their trickster qualities and can be both mischievous and dangerous. They're known to lead people astray, causing them to become lost in the wilderness. They are able to create illusions to confuse or deceive travelers, and they're associated with vengeful spirits, particularly when disrespected or angered. The Pukwudgie is a reminder of the dangers of going into sacred or unknown places without respect for the natural and spiritual world. They also symbolize the idea that even the smallest beings in nature can possess great power and shouldn't be underestimated. So I did find a couple stories of sightings.
Yeah.
There was a woman named Joan who was walking her dog along a trail in the Freetown State Forest in Massachusetts. Her dog bolted off into the forest and drug her behind it. When it finally stopped, she found herself face to face with a little creature. He was about 2 feet high with pale gray skin and very short legs. His lips were large, and he had a dog-like nose. Joan and the creature stared at each other until her dog pulled her back onto the trail. After this sighting, Joan would be woken up in the middle of the night and find this creature looking into her windows. And that continued until she moved away from that area.
Hell no, brother.
Right. And then also a man named Tom claims that he has seen one of these beings not once but twice. He's seen a Pukwudgie. I don't know. I literally typed, a man named Tom claims to have seen one of these things twice. He has seen a Pukwudgie on 2 occasions. Get your life together. Once he was out walking through the same forest that Joan was. But he was walking at night, and he noticed in front of him a glow that seemed to be kind of pulsating as though it was breathing. So he decided to follow that light until it vanished. And when he turned around, he saw a 2-foot-tall being that was furry and had a wolf-like nose.
It was a furry.
Right. The creature then ran off while making an eerie moaning noise. He said that the next sighting came as he was in the parking lot of that same forest. So all this to say, stay away from the Freetown State Forest in Massachusetts.
You ain't gotta worry about me.
Right. He saw it while he's in the parking lot. He said he had decided to go down and enjoy a bit of alone time. And so he parked his car, but he left his radio going. And then all of a sudden, he saw that same little critter that he had previously seen in the woods ahead of him, like 20 or so feet away. This time he noted that the little dude or dudette, we don't assume, had red glowing eyes. And then all of a sudden the car's engine came to life on its own and the radio went full volume. So then Tom just sped home.
Hell no, brother.
Right? If my car starts on its own, we got a whole problem.
Right. I'm calling my dad.
Not calling your dad. I like how I numbered these. Okay, so I only have 6.
Oh.
Because I numbered this 1, then 3.
It happens.
I struggled with this one, apparently.
But yeah, girl, same. I was writing it. I didn't do nothing until 9 o'clock this morning. It's 11:40.
Right.
Was that it
for
that? Okay. I'm going to give you a brief history of Navajo skinwalkers. So we've touched on skinwalkers before, but in the Navajo culture, they view skinwalkers as a type of witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as animals. The Navajo refer to this type of witch as and I'm probably, please correct me somewhere on the socials or whatever if I say this wrong, but Naldushi, which translates to with it he goes on all fours. This is just one type of Navajo witch, but is considered to be the most volatile and dangerous. Throughout the various tribes, there have been many stories and descriptions of skinwalkers. Sometimes these witches evolved from living as respected healers or spiritual guides, but later go on to use their powers for evil. Skinwalkers can either be male or female, but more often than not, they're male. They are said to walk freely amongst the tribe during the day, but at night they secretly transform under the cover of night. In the Navajo culture, in order to become a skinwalker, the person must be initiated by a secret society that requires the evilest of deeds to be done, that of killing a close relative, which is most often a sibling. After this is completed, the individual acquires supernatural abilities, which gives them the ability to shapeshift into animals, and they are most often seen as coyotes, wolves, foxes, cougars, dogs, and bears, but can take the form of any animal.
I'm just here to let you know that when I tell the story that I have that goes along with this here in a minute.
Is it going to make sense?
It's disturbing.
Okay.
Now that I know that.
Okay. In order to transform, they need to wear the skins of the animals they transform it into, hence the name skinwalker. Sometimes they would also wear animal skulls or antlers, which was said to give them more power. They would choose the animal they would turn into based on abilities needed in order to complete a task such as speed, agility, strength, endurance, claws, teeth, and so on and so forth. Due to this, within the Navajo culture, it is taboo for members to wear the pelt of any predatory animal, and instead they would wear sheepskin, leather, and buckskin. According to legend, the skinwalkers can also possess the bodies of human victims if a person were to lock eyes with them. By doing this, the witch is able to make its victims do and say things they wouldn't otherwise. Once they are in animal form, observers can tell the difference between an animal and a skinwalker by looking into their eyes. Instead of animal-like eyes, the animal will have human-like eyes, but only while in animal form, and when the light is shined on them, they turn bright red. When in their human form, skinwalkers tend to have more animal-like eyes. The super secret, I put in super secret, evil society of witches gathers in dark caves or secluded places for their meetings. At these meetings, they will initiate new members, plot their activities, and use dark magic to harm others from afar and perform dark ceremonial rites. These ceremonies appear like other tribal ceremonies and include dancing, feasts, rituals, and sand painting, but they are considered to be corrupted with dark connotations. They are also said to engage in necrophilia with female corpses, cannibalism, incest, and even grave robbing, which goes along with the necrophilia. During these gatherings, the skinwalkers will shift into animal form or walk around wearing only beaded jewelry and ceremonial paint. Typically, the leader of these skinwalkers is an old man who is very powerful and has lived a long time as a skinwalker. And other powers that skinwalkers may possess are telepathy, thought and behavior control, causing illness and disease, destruction of property, and even death. There are some ways to tell if you have a skinwalker hanging around, and there are sounds around your home like knocking on windows, banging on walls, and scraping noises on your roof. And sometimes they can be seen peeking into windows. Most often, though, they will appear in front of vehicles in hopes of causing a serious accident. It is also said that skinwalkers have the ability to control other creatures of the night, such as wolves and owls, and will force them to do their bidding. And some skinwalkers can even call up the spirits of the dead and reanimate corpses in order to attack their enemies. And because of this, the Navajo would rarely ever venture out alone. Skinwalkers are said to have the ability to run faster than a car and have the ability to jump high distances. They are fast, agile, and nearly impossible to catch. They are also said to have leave larger than normal tracks behind. Skinwalkers have long been blamed for unexpected troubles and tragedies, including drought, illness, poor crops, and even sudden deaths. Other smaller issues that have been blamed on skinwalkers include windstorms during dances, alienation of affection by mates, the death of livestock, reversal of fortune, and I'm so sure that there's just a laundry list of menial things that have been blamed on these supernatural creatures. The most apparent display of the fears of the Navajo of skinwalkers was the Navajo witch purge of 1878. Initially, this evolved from a cultural response to so many people moving across and onto their lands. After several wars with the U.S. Army, the Navajo people were expelled from their land and forced to march to Fort Sumner in New Mexico in what is known as the Long Walk of the Navajo in 1864. There, the people suffered greatly from failed crops, bad water, illness, and death, and this reduced their numbers dramatically. After 4 years of this treatment, the U.S. government said, whoopsie, shouldn't have done that, and the Navajo were allowed to return to their homeland in the Four Corners area. During these years, it is said that many of the tribe's members turned to shape-shifting as a means of survival, and the rest of the tribe believed that their gods had deserted them. Once the tribe had returned to their homeland, their conditions improved. However, the skinwalkers were still among them and were blamed for the bleak conditions on the reservation during those years. It wasn't long before accusations of witchcraft, as with any kind of hysteria, it wasn't long before accusations of witchcraft and the hunting of skinwalkers began. Someone found a copy of the Treaty of 1868 that had some witch artifacts wrapped in it, and tribal members unleashed deadly consequences. And the Navajo witch purge occurred in 1878, and 40 suspected Navajo witches were killed in order to restore harmony and balance to the tribe. 40 people.
Oh.
See, you always hear about the Salem witch trials, but you never hear about this. Like, I've never heard about this in my life.
Okay, so Skinwalker story.
Yes.
So, if any of you know me, you've heard me, and I may have even done it on here. You've heard me complain about the one that I so affectionately call Ellie, the dog.
Yeah.
And how she's crazy.
A little cutie patootie.
She's crazy.
Oh, freckle butt.
And she has been untrainable.
Yeah.
And she, like, to take her outside, we had to take her out on a leash.
Yeah.
Or put her outside on the little runner thing. The kid, Easton, can't take her out on a leash because she has literally drug him through the yard. She is so strong. So just picture, she's a Great Dane Pit mix, okay?
Mm.
She's not like, I say she's a mediocre Dane because she's not a Great Dane because she's not as tall as a Great Dane, but she is tall and lanky, very muscular. She's a
so-so Dane.
Yeah. So she's like, I don't know. She's kind of awkward shaped, I think. But she's tall.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, here lately, she's just been like, I'm going to listen and I'm going to let you train me. Mm-hmm. So we bought a while back. If she gets loose out of the house, like it takes us at least 30 to 45 minutes to catch her. Okay.
Yeah.
To get her back in the house. And even then she decides she's ready to go in the house. She's tired of running around.
Right.
So she goes in. So we bought like a training collar, and it's got like you can make it beep, or it can vibrate, or it's got like the quote unquote shock. It's not truly a shock.
It's like, it's a vibration. Yeah.
It's not quite a vibration. You know, like back in the day, they had that game that had the little handles. I forget what it was called. And you like push the button.
Yeah.
And then it like shocks your hand. It's basically, that's
it's
what
like
it does.
A quick little zzz.
Yeah. So, it's not inhumane. It doesn't hurt her.
Yeah.
And we don't use it very often. Okay? Only if it's completely necessary and we have to get her attention.
Yeah.
When she's out and running loose. So then, yes, like when we go to let her in on her runner for the last little while, I can unhook her from the runner and just let her go, and she runs right in the door.
Yeah.
So then yesterday, TJ says, let's let her run outside to use the bathroom without being on a runner or a leash and see what happens. Mm-hmm. So he takes the little remote out with him while she's got the collar on, and she was minding, like, did her business, came back in the house.
Yeah.
So that was a whole thing all day yesterday. That's huge progress for us. I'm super excited about it. So last night, I don't know, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We're up watching the fight. Yeah. Because we're, waiting to see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I'm so disappointed.
Me too, and I didn't even watch it.
Anyway.
I got the play-by-play in the Discord.
Wow. So I take her out. It's dark. I let her go out. Man, she was like on a mission. First of all, I don't know why all of a sudden when she starts running around the yard, she looks so tall, and like it's like she grows a whole foot whenever she gets outside. It's weird. She looks weird. Yeah. Maybe it's just a nighttime thing because she's white against a dark background. I don't know. She goes to squat to poop. Now, dogs, their posture while they're pooping is weird anyway.
Right.
But like when she goes to squat to poop, it's like she contorts her back to do it.
Yeah.
She did that last night. Ran out there, went to squat to poop, and it was like she lifted up like she was going to stand up on her hind legs, and then looked at me, and it was like she went, oh, can't do that, and then went right back down.
What a weirdo.
I was like, were you just about to switch forms? What's happening?
Were you about to stand up to shit?
What? Like, well, I'm like, that was some Skinwalker shit, is what that was. It was weird.
You done invited a Skinwalker in your house. It's weird.
Well, and then you're sitting here talking about they're impossible to catch. Have you ever looked her in the eyes? I wouldn't say necessarily
She got
they're
crazy
human
eyes.
eyes.
She got crazy eyes though.
They're very. It's like all at the same time. It's like there's not a thought behind those eyes, but also very soulful.
Yeah.
And I swear it's like all of a sudden TJ and I've swapped. Like Loki is no longer my dog; that's his dog.
Yeah.
And Ellie is my dog.
Yeah.
She gonna cuddle with me.
Right.
But it's like I can look at her and be like, oh, I feel like you need to go outside. And she hasn't given me any information. Like, she hasn't given me any tells that she needed to go out. It's weird. So weird. So, yeah, I think that my dog may actually be a skinwalker. Here's to adopting dogs from shelters.
Yeah.
But she's a good girl.
She all right. She all right, old freckle butt.
She's still really hyper and gets really excited over small things.
She's still a puppy, though.
She is. She'll be 1 in January. Loki'll be 2 in December.
My goodness. They're growing up.
I know. Anyway. All right. So my next one. So this one we have touched on before. I meant to go back and listen to what we had said, or at least read the episode notes, but I didn't. But it's I've heard it said different ways. The Wendigo, the Wendigo, however you want to say it. On Supernatural, they say Wendigo. So that's what I'm going with.
There you go.
But I said that to my sister, and she was like, Wendigo? It's Wendigo. And I'm like, that's what you say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tomato.
Right. So this one it appears in Comanche lore, but it's also shared with other northern plains tribes. While the Wendigo is more famously associated with the Algonquin-speaking tribes of the Northeast, some Comanche legends share stories with this terrifying spirit. The Wendigo is a malevolent, cannibalistic creature that is said to show up during times of starvation or greed. The story of the Wendigo is that a hunter got lost during an insanely cold winter. Once the insane hunger took over, he took to cannibalism. When, upon dining on human flesh for the first time, he turned into a beast that roamed the forest trying to find his next meal. He's said to stand about 15 feet tall, but looks malnourished. The best description that I could find is one that was written by a native author and ethnographer, Basil H. Johnston. In his work, The Manitus, it says, the Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation, its desiccated skin pulled tightly over its bones. With its bones pushing out over its skin, its complexion was the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into the sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody, unclean and suffering from separations of the flesh. The Wendigo gave off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. Hold on. It is, like I said, gaunt, a skeletal monster, often depicted with glowing eyes, sharp claws, and a mouth filled with sharp teeth. It's known for its insatiable hunger for human flesh. It's said that once someone becomes a Wendigo, they can never be satisfied. And it's associated with cold winter climates and isolation where survival becomes a struggle. It is a warning against greed, cannibalism, and the breakdown of social order. It represents the dangers of excess and selfishness, particularly when one's survival depends on the lives of others. So I tried to find some stories of sightings, but every one of them that I found, and I know for a fact that I looked through a minimum of 50 plus stories plus some videos. There's no proof that this could have been a Wendigo.
Yeah.
The descriptions could have been literally anything.
Yeah.
And the videos that I found, I not sure that any of them were legit.
Mm.
But I've noted here that I put the F word, but I'm not going to say it. This guy is giving the Sasquatch a run for his money on the hide and seek contest. So that's what I got for that.
All right. My next story is the sacrifice of the Toltec. So centuries ago, when Toltec civilization had extended over Arizona and perhaps over the entirety of the West, the valleys were occupied by larger towns, and in those towns were the towns' ruins were known as the City of Ovens, City of Stones, and the City of the Dead. The people would work in the trades and arts that had been practiced by their ancestors for years before the pyramids were even built in Egypt. And Montezuma had come to the throne of Mexico, and the Aztec people were his subjects. Europe had discovered America and forgotten about it. And in America, the arrival of Europeans was recalled only in traditions. But like other nations, the Toltec became prey to self-confidence, luxury, wastefulness, and to deadening superstitions.
She's very diabetes today.
Yeah, she do be looking like the diabetes dude. Already, the fierce tribes of the north were lurking on the confines of their country in faith of speedy conquest, and at times it seemed as if the elements were against them. The villagers who would return from the fields one day when the entire region was smitten by an earthquake. Their homes trembled, there were rumblings heard, people fell trying to reach the streets. Some of their reservoirs burst, which wasted, it says, I don't like the way that's worded. Anyway, to stop this, a sacrifice was offered. There was a second shock, and another mortal was offered to the gods. As the earth still heaved and the earthquake demon muttered from underground, the king gave his daughter to the priests, that his people might be spared, though he wrung his hands and beat his brow as he saw her led away, and knew that in an hour her blood would stream from the altar. The girl walked firmly to the cave where the altar was erected, a cave in the Superstition Mountains. She knelt and closed her eyes as the officiating priest uttered a prayer, and gripping his knife of jade stone, plunged it into her heart. She fell without a struggle, and now the end. Hardly had the innocent blood drained out and the fires been lighted to consume the body, when a pall of cloud came sweeping over from the heavens. A hot wind surged over the ground, laden with dust and smoke. The storm-struck earth writhed anew beneath pelting thunderbolts. No tremor this time, but an upheaval that rent the rocks and flung the cities down. In an hour, it was an hour of darkness and terror. The roars of thunder mingled with the more awful bellowing beneath. Crash on crash told that houses and temples were falling in vast vain. The mountainsides were loosened, and the rush of avalanches added to the din. The air was thick, and through the clouds the people groped their way toward the fields. Rivers broke from their confines and laid waste farms and gardens. The gods had indeed abandoned them, and the spirit of the king's daughter took its flight in company with thousands of souls on behalf whose she had suffered uselessly. The king was crushed beneath his palace roof, and the executioner perished from being hit by a rock. The survivors fled in panic, and Ishmaelite tribes on their frontier entered their kingdom and pillaged it off, pillaged all of the abandoned wealth, and the cities were never rebuilt. And apparently, I think this was written in 2022, some of those cities were rediscovered. And the maiden's skeleton was found, the sacrificed daughter.
Put it back.
Yeah.
If you took it from its place, put it back.
And apparently no natives will cross Superstition Mountains without feeling a bit apprehensive.
I think we touched on Superstition Mountains when we did one of the Spooky State episodes.
Probably.
The Arizona one.
Yeah.
I think I touched on it. I remember seeing that.
But yeah, so basically there were earthquakes, and it sounds like tornadoes.
Tornadoes?
A nader came through, and dude was like, we've already sacrificed 2 people, and the hits just keep on hitting. What if hear me out, and then pushes his daughter up, and she's like, what? And then they kill her, and everybody, they're just like, you know what? That was messed up, yo. More naders, more earthquakes, take them out.
I needed you to explain things in history for me in high school. I might have understood it a little bit better.
You remember that show Drunk History?
I thought about that the other day. Fun fact, one of our classmates was on that show, very briefly.
Yeah.
Wonder how he is.
Not a clue. That's so funny. I thought I was going to marry that man.
Oh, Lord.
Turns out he didn't even like me.
Okay. Is that it?
That was it. That was
right.
it. Naders and earthquakes.
Naders. Okay, so my next one is the Thunderbird. It is shared with many plain tribes. So another powerful figure in Comanche lore is the Thunderbird. It's a supernatural bird that controls storms with its massive wings that create the thunder, and its flashing eyes cause the lightning to strike. It is both glorified and feared, as it is said to protect them from evil spirits, but also can become very angry. What are you grinning about over there? You looked around and just grinned. In Sioux culture, a group of warriors witnessed a giant bird fall to the ground in the Badlands. Then the next day, they found its bones. It was said that it had a wingspan as large as 4 men standing on top of each other, and had a long, sharp beak and a bony crest on its head. Shawnees said that the Thunderbird would turn young boys into, the Thunderbird would turn into young boys who spoke backwards. Navajo believed that they were meant to warn people of war with thunder and lightning. The Ho-Chunk tribe believes that if a man sees a Thunderbird during a solitary fast, he will become a war chief. But the Winnebago believe that if one is seen at any time, that man will fast become the war chief. In Gros Ventre traditions, the Thunderbird gave the sacred pipe to the people. The Menominee of Wisconsin people say that there's a great mountain that floats in the western sky where the Thunderbirds live, and they control the rain from there, as well as they are the messengers of the great sun. I also saw a story of where there was a tribe that said that these Thunderbirds could catch a whale, a killer whale, and then fight it and eat it.
Hell yeah, brother.
So the Thunderbird's wings create powerful thunderstorms, lightning, and tornadoes, which cause destruction. Some stories describe it as a harbinger of doom, especially if it's angry. The size and power make it an awe-inspiring yet frightening creature in all of these tales. It symbolizes the force of nature, specifically the raw power of storms and balance of the natural world. While it is a protector in some stories, it can also serve as a warning of nature's destructive potential. I did find a couple stories on this one. So in the Sioux culture, the story that I found says one day, long, long ago, before the white man came to America, a party of Sioux Indian warriors were out hunting. They had left their village far behind. Before they realized it, the group of braves found themselves alone in the bare and rocky badlands of the west. Suddenly, the sky darkened. There was a clap of thunder that shook the earth. Looking up in terror, the Indians thought they saw the shape of a giant bird falling to earth. The band of hunters traveled over the Badlands for days until they came to the last spot where they thought the giant bird had fallen, and nothing was left of the terrible creature but its bones. So this kind of goes into what I had said earlier. The Indians shuddered as they looked at the monster skeleton. The bird had fallen so hard that they thought that its bones were partly sunk in the rock, but the braves could see that its wings spread was as big as 4 tall men standing on top of one another. The strange creature had fierce claws on its wings as well as on its feet, and the beak was long and sharp. There was a long, bony crest on its head. The Indians knew that they had never seen a bird like it before. So, that's all I got. And then my next 3 are very short.
This one's kind of a little bit longer. So the Maquis people have a legend that long ago, when the primary mesa that they occupy was much higher than it is now, and when they owned all the country from the mountains to the great river, it is said that giants came out of the west and troubled them, going so far as to dine on their people. It was obviously difficult to get away from them, as the monsters could see all over the country from the tops of the mesas. The king of the tribe offered... What are you doing? Are you chewing on your foot?
Yeah.
Okay. The king of the tribe offered the most handsome woman in his country and 1,000 horses to any man who could and would save his people from the giants. And I feel like I'm keeping on theme this episode, and this king was eaten like the rest of them. And the citizens did not elect another king due to their loss they lost their faith in their kings. But still, there was one young brave soul who thought, this is worded strangely. There was one young brave soul who thought that they knew how to defeat the giants and save the people. As he was walking down the mesa, he saw a lizard, of the kind commonly known as the horned toad, lying under a rock in pain. He rolled the stone away and was passing on when a voice that seemed to come out of the earth, but that really came from the toad, asked him if he wished to destroy the giants. He desired nothing so much, and then said, "Then take my horned crest for a helmet." Lolomi, that was the young brave soul, he did as he was bid, and found in that moment the crest had swelled and covered his head so thickly that no club could break through it. "Now take my breastplate," continued the toad, and though it would not have covered the native's thumbnail when he put it on, it increased in bulk and corseted his body, and no arrow could pierce it. "Now take the scales from my eyes," commanded the toad, and when he had done so, Lolomi felt as light as a feather. "Go up and wait. When you see a giant, go toward him, looking into his eyes, and he will walk backward. Walk around him until he has his back to a precipice, then advance. He will back away until he reaches the edge of the mesa, when he will fall off and be killed." Lolomi obeyed these instructions, for presently a giant loomed in the distance and came striding across the plains 1/2 mile at a step. As he drew near, he flung a spear, but it glanced from the native's armor like hail from a rock. Then an arrow followed and was turned. At this, the giant lost courage, for he fancied that Lolomi must have been a spirit. Fearing a blow if he turned, he kept his face toward Lolomi. He maneuvered so skillfully that when he had the giant's back to the edge of a cliff, he sprang at him, and the giant, with a yell of alarm, fell and broke all of his bones on the rocks below. So Lolomi killed many giants because they all walked back before him, and after they had fallen, the people heaped rocks on their bodies. To this day, the place is known as the Giant's Fall, and the tribe made Lolomi king and gave him the best damsel for a wife. As he was the best king they ever had, they treasured his memory after he died and used his name as a greeting, so that Lolomi is a word of welcome and will be until the giants come again.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought that was very cute.
I like it. Remind me, I have a question for you when we're done. That's completely unrelated to all of this.
Okay.
My next one is the night demon. It's also referred to as the witch of the night, and it kind of coincides with the skinwalker. But in some Comanche tales, there are stories of an evil spirit or demon that comes out at night to terrorize humans. These night demons are often associated with witches or evil sorcerers who use their powers to harm others. In some versions of the story, these spirits are said to take the form of animals or shadows, preying upon the unsuspecting. Night demons are believed to come in the form of shadowy figures or even animals, sometimes shape-shifting to deceive their victims. They are said to haunt the darkness, preying on those who venture out at night, often attacking the vulnerable or those who stray too far from safety. These demons are said to feed on the fear of their victims and can curse or cause illness to those who encounter them. The night demon represents the fear of the unknown and the dangers of the dark. In Comanche tradition, the night is often seen as a time when the spiritual and physical worlds overlap, allowing evil spirits or forces to prey on humans. These stories have served to reinforce the importance of community and safety within the tribe, particularly during the night when the dangers of the world seem closer.
Hold on, I'm checking. Okay, yeah. I was checking something. Okay, so my next one is called the Spider Tower. And it is also in Arizona. In Dead Man's Canyon, there is a deep gorge lateral to the once populated valley of the Rio de Shelley, Arizona. I'm probably not saying that right. But there is a dark spire of weathered sandstone, and its top is 800 feet above its base. So it's like this huge thing. I'm probably not describing it well. But anyway, centuries ago, an inhabitant of one of the cave villages was surprised by hostiles while hunting in this region and was chased by them into this canyon. As he ran, he looked vainly from side to side, hoping to secure a hiding place. Assistance came from the least expected source, as there was I can't read.
We can't even blame it being late on this.
No.
It's 12 o'clock, 12:15
So,
in the day.
Okay. So assistance came from an unsuspecting source as he approached this enormous obelisk, and all of his strength nearly exhausted, he saw a silken cord hanging from a notch at its top. So hastily knotting the end about his waist so that he might not fall within reach of his pursuers, he climbed up, setting his feet into the roughness of the stone and advancing hand over hand until he reached the summit, where he stayed, drinking dew and feeding on eagle's eggs until his enemies went away, as they could not reach him with their arrows. And he was defended by the points of the rock of the obelisk he was sitting on. The foemen having gone, he safely descended by the cord and reached his home. This help had come from a friendly spider who saw his plight from her perch at the top of the spire, and weaving a web of extra thickness, she made one end fast to the jag of the rock, and at the same time the other fell within his grasp. For she, like all of the brute tribe, liked the gentle cave dwellers better than the remorseless hunters, hence the name of the spider tower. I was reading that and I was like, does that sentence even make sense?
I mean,
why do I feel like this was Pick Your Poison?
Right.
I blacked out for that.
Oh, all right. So my next one is the squirrel demon. In some Comanche stories, there is a demon that takes the form of a squirrel, but it is far from a cute, innocent animal. This creature is said to be able to transform into a terrifying, monstrous version of a squirrel with glowing eyes and sharp claws. It's known to haunt the forests and cause chaos, especially for those who wander into its territory. The demon can take the form of a normal squirrel, luring its victims into a false sense of security before attacking. It is said to have supernatural abilities, such as the power to disappear or transform into other creatures at will. The squirrel demon can be an omen of misfortune or illness, especially if it is seen in an unusual setting or time. It reflects the idea that even the most innocuous creatures in nature can have hidden dangerous powers. It serves as a reminder that one should never be too confident in their surroundings, as danger may come from unexpected sources. See short.
Is this my last one?
My next one is my last one.
No, this is not my last one.
Oh, so you're bookending, not me.
Right. The Weird Sentinel at Squaw Peak. So in Squaw Peak, which I always thought squaw was a slur. Is it?
Like,
is that like a
spell it?
SQUAW? Like squaw.
I always thought it was like an Indian thing, like a native thing.
Okay, it is a slur for indigenous women. Okay, so I will not be using that word anymore. So there is a...
But why, though?
I don't know. Maybe there's...
I mean, it's just literal... I mean, it says offensive, but it says it's just a North American Indian woman or wife.
Well, if you Google... Like, is...
It's a ethnic or sexual slur.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a cave under the highest, it says butte of this mountain range where a party of Tonto natives was found by white men in 1868. White men are always a problem. The white men were on the warpath, and when the Tonto fell into their hands, they shot them without hesitation, firing into the dark recesses of the cavern. The fitful but fast recurring flashes of their rifles illuminated the interior and exposed to view the objects of their hatred. The massacre was over, the cries and groans were hushed, the hunters strode away, and over the mountains fell the calm that for thousands of years had not been so rudely broken. That night, when the moon shone into the pit of death, a corpse arose, walked to a rock, and just within the entrance, and took there its everlasting seat. Long afterward, a man who did not know its story entered this place when a thing confronted him, as he called it, a thing, that glared so fearfully upon him that he fled in an ecstasy of terror.
I've never heard those two words used in the same sentence. Ecstasy of terror.
So subsequently, there were a couple of prospectors who attempted to also explore this cave, but the entrance was barred by the thing. They glanced at the torn face. The bulging eyes were turned sideways at them. It had yellow fangs, long hair, spreading claws. It had livid, moldy flesh, and it rushed away. There was a Western newspaper that recounted this adventure, and one of the men declared that there was not enough money in Maricopa County to pay him to go there again. And at the same time, the other had never stopped running. At least he had not returned to his usual haunt since the thing looked at him. It's the eyes, I'm telling you. The eyes. Still, this area is just apparently just incredibly haunted. The souls of the Mojave roam upon Ghost Mountain, and the bad men's hunting grounds of the Yuma and Navajo are over in the volcanic county or country of Sonora. Therefore, finding signs and wonders in broad daylight is not that unusual. Wait a minute. How did I get here?
What?
I fear. I copied and pasted the Lalomi story again. Wait a minute. Yeah. So that was it.
Okay.
And that was my last one. So you are bookending it.
Oh, okay. All right. My last one's super short again. It's the water monster or lake demon. The Comanche have stories of a terrifying water creature that lives in the depths of lakes and rivers. Similar to the Pishu, which is the great water panther found in the Great Lakes tribes. These water monsters are said to pull people into the water, drowning them. It's described as a large serpentine creature with sharp teeth capable of pulling people under the surface of the water. Some stories claim that these creatures have the ability to control the waters, creating whirlpools and deadly currents to trap their victims. And it's often invisible until it strikes, making it particularly frightening for those near the water. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of water and the respect for required bodies of water, which are often seen as sacred or mysterious. It emphasizes the power of nature and the need to stay vigilant around dangerous natural features. So, boom. That's it.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm sorry I accidentally said a slur. I didn't know.
Right.
I thought it was, but I wanted to confirm.
Now I'm gonna research into that as to why exactly it's a
slur.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost certain like I said, it's probably white dudes. If I had to wager a guess.
Probably.
But that's neither here nor there. So.
Damn white people.
I'm white people.
As we sit here, two of the whitest people
right.
everywhere. We are overly Caucasian.
Y'all want to hear Amaro lick her toes?
What? Okay, so here's the question I was going to give you. Oh, I can't. I hope that picked it up. Why is she missing fur on her legs?
It's stress.
From what?
I don't know.
What is it that she has to be stressed about?
It's also a black cat thing.
Listen.
They over groom themselves.
What? For a cat that has no bills, no responsibilities.
Oh, I know. But you know what she does have?
Anxiety.
A willow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does have anxiety. She is a very anxious cat. She's very much mine. But yeah, she straight up, she will pull her like leg hair out, her belly hair, her butt hair.
Girl.
Her back is like thinned. It's got thin hair. She doesn't usually do it too bad when she's like sitting with me. She's okay, but like I'm sure she does most of it when we're gone during the day. And she's not up my rear end.
Probably.
But yeah, it's a black cat thing. A lot of them do it.
Well, I'm sitting here looking to see. I didn't watch any of my YouTube podcasts this week, so I was looking to see if there were any updates. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate that Shane Dawson podcast only comes out every other week.
Yeah.
It infuriates me.
I watched the last one when it came out like 12 minutes, and then I was watching it. Because I just happened to open the app when it was uploaded.
Which one was it? Was it the
most
murder
recent
mysteries
one,
or whatever?
I think
true crime thing.
Yeah, because I was in here working on a scrapbook and I needed background noise, so I opened
Ryland's
YouTube.
Mom,
yeah,
Vicky. I love
Vicky.
her. Reminds me though that I have a there's a short on Shane's page that cracks me up. I want to show you.
Okay.
Anyway. Well, that's it for this one. We hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I almost said Thanksmas.
Eat a lot of good food.
Don't forget the real reason that
we have it.
We have it, and it's not Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
Thank a native today for just being native. If you have the ability.
Or just, be a good human.
Right.
That's all we ask. Feel like compassion has gone out the window. So,
do you have plans for Thanksgiving?
Eating.
No
That's
shit.
it.
Are you doing like family things? Like, are you getting together?
Yeah, we're doing like with his mom and then with my family.
Got you.
I guess we're having it partially catered this year.
Oh,
my mother,
fancy.
My Nana just doesn't feel up to cooking. And then my mother was like, how would you feel if I put mushrooms in the dressing? I said, if you're going to screw with the recipe, don't make it. Don't make it. I said, if you're not going to make it like Nana, don't make it. Because she made some coleslaw for my birthday party and said it was healthy. It looked healthy. It sure did. Good thing I don't like coleslaw.
I was right. I was about to ask if it tasted like shit.
I don't know. I didn't taste it. I heard it was all right. There were rumblings. But there wasn't a lot of it that was eaten.
Where are we having it catered from?
I think one of the grocery stores. I think we're just getting a turkey. I don't know. I don't know what that entails.
She could have gotten a Cajun turkey from Popeyes.
That would have been good, but
she'd
have probably been like, it'll give me heartburn.
Oh, gosh. Take a Prilosec. Almost said Zyrtec. Take a Tums. Bro, here lately, everything gives me heartburn.
Same. I have to take heartburn medicine day and night.
Listen,
and if I skip a dose, I know.
Oh, it's awful. Here's to getting old.
Yeah.
We are.
I think I've got more like GERD though, because like if I'm bent over too long,
that might be my problem.
I'll get a little bit of acid in my throat. It's disgusting.
That might be my issue. I don't know, but we are TJ's family. Excuse me, God, that came out of nowhere. TJ's family is doing dinner at his mom's house as per usual, and I have to go. I say have to, like I'm not looking forward to it. I am very much so looking forward to it, but I'm like feeling the weight of responsibility. I am going over there Thanksgiving morning to help cook the entire meal. One of me and one of TJ's aunts.
Yeah.
Because TJ's mom is having surgery like a couple days before. So she's going to need some help. She called me not too long ago, asked if I'd come over. So I'm like, man, like I get to go help make the dinner and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I have to make banana pudding and bring it over there because apparently that's my thing now.
Yeah. As it should be.
And then TJ's going to smoke the turkey.
I love the good smoked turkey.
You know what he's making today? Smoked deviled eggs. He doesn't even eat deviled eggs, but he saw a recipe for them.
Who doesn't eat deviled eggs?
TJ doesn't. None of my kids do either.
See.
Maddie does, but the other two don't. Right. Well, he was like, I saw this recipe and I want to try it. And I was like, you don't even eat those. And he was like, no, but you do. So he's going to make some.
Let me know if it's good.
I will. I will. But if they're good, then he might make them for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then we have to go to my family Thanksgiving. And I have to make a dessert.
Banana pudding? You already making one?
I know, but like there's a couple of people in that family that have gluten allergies.
Okay.
So I don't want to make something that's like really, really good and they can't partake in it.
Yeah.
So that's not to say I'm going to make something that's not really good. I'm just going to try and find something that's more gluten-free friendly.
Yeah.
That I can take. But so yeah, I'm excited. Now, listen, I'm going to say this and I don't mean this to sound the way that it's going to sound. My aunt's dressing is always really good.
Yeah.
My mother is making the dressing this year.
See.
I'm so excited.
Really?
It can't get here fast enough. I'm so excited. I've been craving dressing for days, okay?
Yeah.
I got desperate, which I say desperate. I really enjoy it. I got a box of stovetop dressing like a week or two ago and just tore a whole box of that up myself.
Oh, that's
so good.
Stuffing.
Whatever.
That's not dressing.
Listen, it's so good. I love it.
A cornbread dressing is where I'm at.
Yeah, my mom makes really good dressing. I'm really excited.
Makes really good dressing.
But
that's another one of those things where, is the kitchen a little bit dirty? I don't care.
I don't care.
I ain't even going to question it because this shit's good. But
I think we've invited a friend of ours and her kids.
Yeah.
Over.
I wanted to do like a Friendsgiving thing again, but we're just too busy this year.
Yeah. Another one of my friends mentioned something about that. And I think we're going to do one over there. Not on Thanksgiving Day, though, because I told her, I said, listen, I don't do holidays with friends on the actual holidays.
Yeah.
Because that is my family time.
Right.
And you never know how many of those you're going to get. You know? So, so I look forward to that, especially like with my family, because we see TJ's family all the time. We're very fortunate like that. But my family, I generally only see them Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they're a bit more spread out.
Yeah. Well, yes, by spread out you mean they live for a
little bit further out than like, you know.
They're all together.
Yeah.
But like my section of the family, we're all here, and they're all like what? Yeah. 45 minutes away, 45 minutes away, which doesn't seem like it's that long, but it's too far to just travel on a Tuesday.
Right.
So, we don't see them that often. So I'm excited to go and visit with them.
Yeah.
One of my aunts just sold her car to my sister for my niece's first car. Is that a audible eye roll?
That's a what?
She's not even close to that. Like she's only. Don't kill me, Brandy. I think Trixie is like 12.
Ain't no way.
Ish. Yeah.
She looks like a teenager.
I know. But my aunt was trying to get rid of this car, but it's like an old school convertible Mustang.
Oh, okay.
It's been sitting for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like there was like a minor thing wrong with it, and my aunt didn't know how to fix it, and so she just let it sit and got a new car. So it's been sitting for a while. Well, my niece has cleaned the shit out of it since they got it, as a kid will do when they get their first car. The first thing they'll do is clean it out, even though it's just going to sit there for forever. I did that because my first car I was supposed to have was a Grand Prix. I was so excited about it. It was black. I cleaned the hell out of it. I decorated the inside. It had been wrecked, and it was like the front end of it was wrecked. I never got to drive it. We got rid of it.
See, I had a Cutlass that didn't really run very well.
Yeah.
and I cleaned it, decorated it, all the things, and never got to drive it. I ended up selling it for like $400.
But anyway, so she got real excited the other day. She was like, "Oh, this car was meant for me," because the button on the seat belts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the heart to tell her. They'd faded, but she thinks they're pink.
Oh.
Because, they're red.
Yeah.
And they faded into a pink. But she's like, the buttons on the seatbelt things are pink. It's meant to be. And I'm like, they're not supposed to be pink, but.
Bless her little heart.
She's so cute. All right, guys. Well, thanks for another week.
Yeah.
Thanks for another year.
Yeah.
Keep sharing us out. Keep us going.
Yeah.
Follow us on the socials like Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok,
YouTube.
Email us at wandersweird@gmail.com. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
All right. Bye.
Say bye.